block spin and why those wouldn't work for something like the Hubbard model. And I remember, how some of the work going on in terms of the Kondo impurity problem was, it just worked so well for really resolving extremely low energy quantities. This seemed so hard to do if you still had all the time information. You had to really go to that low temperature. So I thought that was a nice way to go. And then, meanwhile, Ken had sort of figured out why, in the simple context, why those methods for this RG approach didn't work for lattice problems like that. It worked for the impurity problems, and it didn't work for the other problems. And he understood it in terms of solving a particle in box with a really hard method, using sort of the most complicated RG methods to solve a particle in box where you have a trivial answer. But the thing is, with the particle box, you can really use your intuition and understand what's going on. So with that, you could say, this is why it was wrong, and suggest ways to improve it. Okay, so I was busy writing my thesis when we sort of gave a little group talk about this. And nobody was ready to work on it then, but a few years later I tried to work on that. Okay, but it turned out that Ken's ideas for solving it weren't right. It's like, okay, there's a lot of good ideas that you might think of, but you don't know enough about the system, and so most things don't work. Okay, but so those methods were all based on perturbation theory, and it was just the regime where perturbation theory was too far off. So I just kept plugging away at it, where I could just think about it in terms of this really trivial problem. And eventually I sort of realized that you could think about it in terms of the boundary conditions. And it sort of ended up, it's like this area law and the quantum fluctuations across the cut. It sort of pushed me in that direction of just thinking about how pieces of wave functions fit together in the single particle context. And sort of understanding it in terms of the particle in the box, it led pretty quickly to the basic ideas of VRG. It's surprising how one little piece of the puzzle can all of a sudden open up something that seems quite different. But they all sort of relate back to this particle in the box.
So, from what you said, I guess if you're in a certain highly excited state, the energy would not be very good.
Yeah, so that's go back to this picture. That's an important point. Okay, suppose you're interested in the 1,237th state in the middle. Okay, why would you be interested in so the main point about this is that there's no reason to care about any of these states. So if you look at the Heisenberg uncertainty principle of time, you say, could you ever prepare for such a state? Assuming that it has an exponentially small gap between the states around it. Okay, it would take the age of the universe to create it. So they don't. So we're interested in this behavior, but we don't have to represent it in terms of the eigenstates. So the many-body localization is back to where, okay, it can make sense to look at eigenstates, but in a system where you have one of these guys, and it's not just 12 sites, but it's 100 sites. If your stat mech would you write partition functions in terms of some relative states, but I think that's just sort of a formal thing. You shouldn't really think of those excited states as being real. You should think of a different way of formulating it so that it makes sense.
But even if I'm interested in the lowest 20 states, already begins to get quite a bit hard.
Right. So you can work your way up. So what can we do in terms of say spin chains? Let's say 100 sites. We can work our way up, keeping a dozen or a couple of dozen states to sort of work our way up, and then we run out of gas. Okay, but the other thing that we can do is we can say, no, but the experiments don't, they would care about spectral functions. So then we say, okay, we want to do a spectral function. That will be some broad mixture of eigenstates but the pieces of the spectral function are pretty well behaved, so we can attack the spectral functions directly. We've done a lot of work on that. So we can get the spectral functions. We can access the spectral functions without dealing with this huge entanglement.
Cool. Now you can call it second then. We'll gather back up here in 20 minutes, so at 2:35.